Oh, yeah, Mass Culture Podcast here, episode number 6. I'm here with Paul Bearer
Oh, yes.
and The Undertaker. I'll kick his ass. Tune in tonight or now. Tune in. Here we go. We now welcome everybody to Mass Culture Podcast episode 6. We're going to celebrate the Royal Rumble this weekend. Always been fans of wrestling since we were kids. It's had its up and downs and roller coasters, but we're back on board. We're ready for this. I am joined by Paul Bear and no other than The Undertaker.
Oh, Bear's here.
So let's kick it off.
All right.
So wrestling, man, WWE now.
Which it's been for several years.
What, 40? At least 45 years, something like that?
What, 45 years of the Royal Rumble?
No, for just wrestling.
WWF is good, I would tell you people.
Okay.
So we're heading into the Royal Rumble this weekend.
Yeah, now who are you rooting for? Oh, Jesus. Is Mr. Silent the phones, everybody? His phone going off?
It is. That's a typo.
Uh-oh.
Royal Rumble this weekend. A lot of big, exciting things happening. There is a big possible return of The Rock, possibly, to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
That'd be nice.
That is a possibility. There's also just a rumor that came about that Stone Cold Steve Austin was offered a match against Roman Reigns. So maybe we'll see Stone Cold Steve Austin pop in the Royal Rumble this.
Stone Cold's in my top 5 probably of wrestlers. Isn't his knee supposed to be really bad though?
Well, it was, but you remember last year at WrestleMania had the match with Kevin Owens. He came out for that.
Yeah. I just wonder, how much is he willing to risk hurting his knee, permanently, where he has to walk around, with canes and or a wheelchair.
He's still in tip-top shape, though. If you see some of his workouts he posts, he's jacked as all can be.
I don't follow him. Is he on Instagram? I mean, obviously.
Yeah, he's obviously on all of them.
But he's working out and stuff all the time?
Yeah, he just posted some video the other day. You see his arms are just like gigantic still. Which is good to see a lot of them guys keeping in shape,
Yeah. It's sad to see when they get super out of shape, too.
Right.
It's like, you don't want to see that with anybody,
Mm-hmm.
It's neglect. It's, a lot of them get on pain medication, things like that. What can you do?
And even Kurt Angle had his demons with that, and that's an Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah, from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, it happens, it's not that,
I actually just saw Kurt Angle when I was in the store the other day. He's walking around. And some guy said, "Hey, Kurt," and waved to him, and he waved back. But I was like, "Well, I'll let that go. I'm not going to disturb him,
Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes that could have been that guy's first time ever seeing him out anywhere, and then someone else says hi, it takes a guy's thunder away from him.
Right.
Just a little reminder.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, kicking off into the Royal Rumble, there's a very good, exciting match coming up with my favorite current wrestler, who is Bray Wyatt. The Fiend. And if anyone saw last Monday on Raw, the 30th anniversary, LA Knight, who Bray Wyatt will be facing tomorrow night, got in the middle of The Undertaker and Bray Wyatt. I mean, imagine that moment. Undertaker is about to chokeslam you, throws you into Bray Wyatt for the Sister Abigail. I mean, that's
like the bucket list, probably, right?
Yeah. And the thing that's interesting about LA Knight, that he was also managed by Paul Bearer back in TNA, back when he first started off.
Yeah.
Yes, I think he went back to the name Percy Pringle at the time in TNA.
What do you know about Paul Bearer? What was his do you know anything about his backstory, how he got into wrestling, and how he became a manager? And
I don't know exactly how he did, but if you look at back in the heydays, he even went before Undertaker was Undertaker. He was like Big Red. He was actually managed by Percy Pringle.
So wait, did Paul Bearer ever wrestle or not?
No, I don't think he ever wrestled.
Was he ever part of the writing team?
He's probably creative and stuff like that.
Do you know if he was for sure?
Oh, I'd definitely say he was definitely part of writing on the writing.
Who's new and upcoming that you're excited about now?
Well, one guy in that Royal Rumble I always like to watch is Kofi Kingston. The guy's incredible. He gets tossed from the ring and he'll do handstand walks and everything else that his feet don't touch the ground. He's so incredible how he does stuff in the ring. He's
never been like a big star.
Oh no, he was a champ a couple years ago.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he was a champ for a while, and
See, I fell off for a while. I didn't. There was about 5 years I didn't watch it all. But I think everyone has that, where they kind of stop watching for a
everyone
while.
has that where you take time off. And you still like tune in like a wrestler too. You still like example, I'd always see what Undertaker was up to, even though I wasn't really watching. I'd check what he was doing, or Bray Wyatt, or
I think people get sick of the storyline, and the wrong person becomes champion. You become mad. The wrong person will get hit with the head in the chair and lose the belt, and it actually makes you angry.
Yeah.
Like I remember a couple matches where I'd be literally punching the wall after a wrestling match because your favorite wrestler loses because of someone else cheating.
Yeah.
You're like being that angry,
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, it's part of the fan base of it.
Yeah, it's so weird how it
exciting,
works.
Also, what's funny is you go to Comic Cons and stuff like that, and a lot of independent wrestling shows too. There's a lot of these guys walk around with the championship belt on, like they're the champ and stuff. And these belts, these are like those, $500-$600 belts. I mean, they look awesome. It's just funny how they're walking around with these belts on all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, all those belts are really nice the way they're made and stuff. And there's a lot of thought that goes into those. There's a couple websites that you can get custom made belts.
Yes.
We'll have to get one eventually.
Yes, we will.
So can you name the list of the 30 wrestlers or no?
Well, they don't ever release all 30,
now.
which is good. I mean, I know there's people out there already know who won and stuff like that, and that's good.
There is?
Oh yeah, there's like.
What do you mean?
There's like online people, they look it up and they know who's coming in and what number.
How?
And there's just different websites that leak all that stuff.
Yeah, but you don't think the WWE leaks the wrong information?
No, they do. And the thing I don't get it, if you're gonna sit there and look at it just to see who won already, why even bother watching it?
Yeah, and why try to ruin it for other people?
Yeah. Oh, I look on my Facebook. This so and so won. Like,
yeah, I have the exclusive. I know who won.
I
good
know.
for you.
And it takes the fun out of it. I mean, if you're watching wrestling to watch and have a good time, just pop it on, get surprised.
Yeah.
If you want to see The Rock come out, maybe he will come out. You want to see Stone Cold Steve Austin come out, maybe he will come out.
Yeah, but the whole point is you're watching it for the experience, the live experience,
Yeah, you got to have fun with it,
Oh, I'd love to see like Stone Cold come out, give someone the stunner, then win the Royal Rumble.
It could happen.
John Cena.
Very good. John Cena just returned, so he could possibly come into the Rumble and win.
One thing I'll say about the Royal Rumble, to me, it's like probably my favorite event of the year.
Well, it's also to kick off the WrestleMania. That's what basically sparks up the whole thing.
But just the idea of taking the 30 top dogs and have them go, or whoever, even some upcomers. But to me, they always have disappointed me. Not every time, but like, they'll get some guy like Kane in there, and then like X-Pac will kick him out of the ring. It's like, give me a break. Or who's that really big guy, the Great Khalil?
Oh yeah, great call.
What was he? 7'6" or something?
Yeah, something huge.
Yeah, and they'll have Rey Mysterio knock him out of the ring. Like, come on! They should have like what's called like the giant Royal Rumble, and have like Kane and Undertaker. Like, from my day,
they did that thing for WrestleMania. It was the Andre the Giant Memorial one.
Yeah,
Paul. And you think like a giant would win that, but no, they have like a short guy win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Andre the Giant was one of my favorites for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Him, Stone Cold, I don't know. I could go on and on.
Undertaker, Kane, the Ultimate Warrior, the Macho Man, Randy
How
Savage.
many? So, and then you got what, ECW or AEW? You got AEW now. It's really blowing up.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know their official ratings or anything but I've a lot
From
of
what I
diehards.
understand, they're like neck and neck with Monday Night Raw and
They
stuff
could be.
anymore. It's really
I know a lot of diehards that listen to them or that watch the show, and they're like, oh, it's so much better.
so much better than WWE now. I mean, it's good that Vince McMahon stepped away for a little bit, let Triple H kind of run the show, but now Vince is back, so who knows what'll happen.
Yeah.
Then there's a talk of them selling the company off, so
isn't it supposed to be for sale? Oh yeah, you just said that.
Yeah, there's a rumor it's getting sold, but I mean, it's wrestling, so you never really know because that's the magic of it. That's the magic of wrestling. They do so much and get everyone to think one thing and totally do something different.
All right, so who do you got now for the list of who are they showing so far? That's
so far what I came up with a list of course we were just talking about people with the list, but it's Kofi Kingston.
Well, this is what the WWE is actually promoting, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Santos Escobar.
Okay.
Baron Corbin.
Okay.
Austin Theory.
All right.
Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley.
Everyone likes Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Rey Mysterio. Gunther. I don't even know who that is.
Neither.
Cody Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
Almost. You like him. He's really tall. He's like 7'5" too. He was a bodyguard of AJ Styles.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's weird to hear the list of names and like you don't know every single one of them and know their backstories and characters they used to be and what else is going on though in the world?
Well, like we said, it's the beginning of WrestleMania with Royal Rumble next tomorrow night.
Yep, sure is.
We'll see if Kevin Owens can beat Roman Reigns for the Universal title.
He can't.
He's not going to.
My money's on Roman Reigns.
That's another thing too. Roman Reigns been a champ for 2 years now at this point.
Well, he's been the top dog. You know, if you really think about it, you know, there's a couple people that could compete with him, but
to me, it's one of those things. Whoever they want to be the top dog is the top dog.
Yeah, I know. Well, at least he's worthy of it, I'd say. Yeah. To me, you know what I mean? At least he's worthy of the top dog nod. You know.
Raw just had a 30th anniversary, so we're heading to Royal Rumble, and off we go.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens, right?
Maybe some legends will appear tomorrow night.
Well, if it's a 30th anniversary, they almost have
to. The 30th anniversary of Royal Rumble. What was the first one? I think 1988 or 89. Well, the winner was no one other than Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Well, at the time, he was a big star. Yeah.
Yep.
And who was he taking on for the belt?
That was before that.
Oh, yeah, so it didn't even, he was just the winner.
He's the winner.
He was just the winner, and that's it.
Crowned the winner.
Wow. Well, at least they changed it. It does make sense that the winner would get a shot for the belt, you know?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. And I think when it first really started to get the big buildup with that was Stone Cold Steve Austin back in 98 when he won the Rumble, and then he went on to face Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania and got his first WWF at the time title.
Yeah, those were the days, huh?
The Attitude Era.
Yeah, well, that's when they were kind of breaking the mold.
Went from the Golden Era to the Attitude Era to the PG Era to
PG Era.
Oh yeah.
I'd say if anything, they got dirtier, didn't they?
No, it got real clean. It was real clean for a while.
Really?
Oh yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Now it's like the woman era. Like it's like every other match is a girl match.
But honestly, like they also have the women's Royal Rumble, which I hate to say, but they're more entertaining than watching the men. They do all the flips. You could tell they're such great athletes.
Yeah, they're so athletic.
They're just so much more like fun to watch, like entertaining wise. Like,
it's kind of more
like cartwheels and flips, and you can't.
It's kind of more even too, because you're not going to have like the women that are like 7'4" against the women that are like 5'8".
Yeah.
Typically. Now I know China. Well, China's probably only what, 6?
She was like probably about 5'8".
Nicole Bass.
She's probably about 5'8".
Boy, she was probably. I mean, she wasn't the first woman wrestler, but
she was the first. But she's the first to hit the standard, like with the big muscles that she had. You know, that's when Nicole Bass. She was around too at the time, but I don't think she was really.
They couldn't make a star out of her. I don't know if what her deal was.
Yeah, maybe she just couldn't do it in the ring. You know,
she probably didn't. She didn't have to talk either. I don't think China really had to talk either.
She didn't China have to talk. She just gave it a look, and like
but wasn't she quiet or? I mean,
she's quiet, but around she also the first woman to win the Intercontinental title against Jeff Jarrett.
Okay, yeah.
And the thing that's funny about that, he gets shit on about a lot of stuff. He actually did that while his contract was up.
Did he?
Yeah. So he could have really, put it to WWE and it's like threw her down and pinned her real quick.
Well, she's probably bigger than him. Maybe he was supposed to win and she just took over.
But yeah, he did it without a contract.
They probably win in the match like, no, Jared, you're gonna win. They're like pin him around the 8-minute mark.
Oh, they are still known for the Montreal screw job
with Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yeah. So Bret the Hitman Hart, of course, he's the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be
in his mind.
Well, one thing I do like about him, if you watch any interview by him, as soon as they mention Goldberg, it's all over. He's like, that's the guy that cost me my career.
How so?
Well, you ever see the match they had against each other when he knocked them out?
Mm-hmm.
He says basically it ended his career.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's an accident, though.
Well, he seems to think it wasn't an accident. He said like he tried showing him what to do 100 times before they had the match. He did the complete opposite, He said he just has no skill in the ring.
Goldberg's like, well, who the hell put you in charge?
Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of funny, that he still blames him.
Yeah.
But what
ended his career was spitting in Vince McMahon's face after they did screw him over. But I mean, I think a lot of people go to a job and they're pissed off at their boss for the day and they don't necessarily spit in their boss's face.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it was just another day at the office to him. And you know what I mean? At that point, it's like, and they were asking him, they're like, you have to lose. He's like, I'm not losing.
I'm not losing in Canada.
Well, this time you're going to lose. No, I'm not losing.
He was told he was supposed to win that, and then the next night on Raw, he was supposed to lose.
Vince said, okay, yeah, no problem.
We're going to change the plans.
No, he's like, referee.
That was what, Earl Hebner, was that right?
He's like,
Is that his name?
Pin that bastard around 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man.
There's a documentary was made called Wrestling in Shadows about that whole scenario.
Yeah.
Where backstage, even his wife's like screaming like Triple H. He's like, I didn't know. I didn't know.
Well, they probably didn't know.
Where Bret Hardy actually knocked out Vince McMahon backstage.
Did he?
Yeah.
I knew he went after
he cold cocked him in his office and knocked him out.
See, Vince looks like the type that would like that, though. You know, like, he's probably woke up like, yes.
Yeah. We'll always talk about this.
Vince is a soldier for sure.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You know what's crazy though about Vince McMahon? If you get down to it, at the end of the day, he's a promoter.
Yeah.
That's all he is a promoter.
Mm-hmm.
And he just knows how to promote people and characters, wrestlers, storylines, drama, all that. He knows how to promote it better than you, better than anyone else. You know what I mean? When you really break everything down, he's a promoter.
Mm-hmm.
And he takes fictional characters and makes these matches out of them, and people buy into it.
Superheroes, right?
Yeah, and creates drama like soap opera dramas with
all
bodybuilders and tough guys, and it becomes this worldly thing. But it's amazing.
People like fans get so bent out of shape, like you're saying, you punch the wall because your wrestler lost. You know?
Yeah.
You wanted this guy to win, he lost because of him, and you're all mad, and you know.
Yeah, you'll hate some other wrestler for years over something like that.
Yeah,
there's wrestlers I hate personally, and I don't even know them. You know what I mean? I can't stand them.
And the thing that's funny about that is being a fan. There's not really a wrestler you don't like. Like everyone has their own kind of swag thing they do that everyone likes. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you got one, you're like, all right, he's boring or whatever. But I mean, 95% of the time, it's like, all right, you know.
Perfect example: Ultimate Warrior.
Right.
Your favorite wrestler, basically.
Yes.
A lot of people always say that his talk was awful.
It was awful. They didn't like it, how he wrestled. You know what I mean? But I mean, think about it. When he came in, that was Hogan's era. He came over and won over Hogan before they even wrestled. He was a more popular guy than Hulk Hogan.
And the first person to hold both belts, right?
Yeah, and the first guy to hold both belts. The first guy to beat Hogan in a ring in how many years?
So here's a guy that can't talk, is not technical, but he would just show up, turn the energy completely through the roof.
He'd come running out to the ring, and that was it.
Yeah, and he would grab the ropes and shake them, and and he would just take over.
The excitement it was,
Yeah, and they probably couldn't figure out. They're like, this guy can't even talk. He's talking about the moon and the stars.
Yeah.
They're like,
but
go cut a promo.
Though.
He's like, good, give me an Ultimate Warrior promo.
Oh, I won't get into it right now, but the thing about it is just the excitement of him coming out to the ring. It was.
But it makes you wonder why they couldn't say, what is Ultimate Warrior's real name?
Jim Hellwig.
They pull him aside and go, hey man, like we're gonna hook you up with this person. They're gonna teach you kind of how to talk and what to say.
So there's like been different rumors like that, like Bobby the Brain Heenan had been known to say how much he hated the Warrior. He would tell him like, hey, I just got, my neck's like real sore. I've been wearing a brace, so don't clothesline me or something. He's like, turn around, Warrior coming out with a clothesline.
Clothesline him like right away.
like right on purpose,
right off the bat, yeah.
Like drop him on his neck hard, you know what I mean?
He probably couldn't stand him, you know? And then, they say like with Saturday Night Live, not that I watched that show, but they say that the writers there are pretty competitive and they don't even share ideas with each other, and they're all forced to come up with their own bits or skits or whatever. And it's a lot of pressure as a writer. And I'm sure with WWE, the writers, it's probably like somewhat of a team, but then they probably assign certain wrestlers to certain people. And then like they just create like these storylines that are probably months in advance. Like, what we're seeing now, they probably are figured out 2 or 3 months away from now, And that's pretty cool too. That would be a great job just to be a writer. But I don't know who, like once you write the idea, who approves it,
One of the shockers that when people found out recently that Freddie Prinze Jr. was a writer for WWE for years.
That blows my mind. How the hell? I wonder how he even got connected into that.
I guess he was just a wrestling fan, and being in his status, he knows how to talk to right people. Said, I have these ideas. Someone says, all right, hey, that's actually pretty good.
One day he showed up, he's like, here's my idea.
And all right, we're sold.
They're like, yeah, welcome to the team.
I mean, I heard now he's not with the company anymore, but they did a lot of...
he's probably with AEW.
Could be. Yeah, they always let go of people, and then they bring people back. And that's the thing about wrestling. I mean, Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, was like probably the top star. Then Vince McMahon fires him. Vince McMahon lets Triple H run the show. Triple H brings him right back, and now he's like one of the top stars again.
And he should be.
He should be.
Most
original character in years.
Yeah. Well, and the other guy from the Wyatt family passed away.
Brody Lee.
Yeah. Which that was a shock. And just from me being on Instagram and stuff, it was nice to see how many people really cared about him. And
yeah, when he went to AEW, it was such a big deal for him going there like that, And I also don't forget when the Wyatt family broke up, they had him and Eric Rowan. They were the Bludgeon Brothers. They were cool. Yeah, they look like badasses, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, they were badass because they're from the Wyatt family, so
I would like to see them take on like Undertaker and Kane in their prime or something.
Yeah, that would have been a good one.
What was that name? The Christian and Edge and all them. What was their names again?
The Brood.
Brood.
Yeah, with Gangrel.
What happened to them?
Remember, they joined Undertaker's Ministry of Darkness at one point, and then they just all kind of fell out. I think Gangrel's contract was up, but then it got renewed.
It's funny how in WWE they like start gangs and like then they break them up. Someone always turns. It's the perfect situation because then someone turns on somebody, then they join the other one, like the corporate. The corporate, right?
Yeah.
I hated them. Hated them.
I was like the Ministry of Darkness.
Yeah, I hated the corporate. Who was all in that again?
There's Vince McMahon.
He was
Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon. And
who were the wrestlers in it?
The Rock.
Oh, God.
Was that Ken Shamrock?
That's funny.
Big Show and...
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
And I think somebody else, and they'd all feud with each other, all the wrestlers.
Yeah.
What about Right to Censor? Remember them?
Yeah, I didn't really care for that. Or the Oddities. Oh, ICP.
ICP was in the Oddities.
ICP. And it's funny how they wrote that song for the group. I was listening to Violent J talk about what happened with wrestling and why they didn't continue on with them was that all they wanted, Insane Clown Posse said, look, it's nice that we're reaching a new audience, but some people are going to confuse that we're not a music group, that we're just wrestlers. Will you run the promo ad for our new album coming out? And they told, oh, yeah, no problem. They don't do it. The next week out, their ICP's canceling shows at the time because they're flying in to film Raw or whatever it was, canceling the Monday night shows, then joining the tour again. Second week goes by, they don't run it again. ICP says, we're literally losing money to come be a part of this every week. Can we please have our ad run and we'll pay for it, whatever? They refuse to do it, basically. Like, even though they want to pay for the ad, everything, they won't do it. So they said,
it's a USA Network or something,
Who knows? But Violent J was quoted saying, like, of course they regret, they just left. They up and left, didn't call them, didn't email them, didn't tell them. They just said, see you later. We're out of here.
They popped up on WCW, I think, after WWF too.
Yeah, but that probably made Vince even more mad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so if they've already pissed them off, now they've really done.
Now you're really,
Because, I mean, they have their own wrestling games. And I think at one point that JCW, which is, Juggalo Championship Wrestling, I think at one point they said that was ranked like third in the world. I don't know if that's based on ratings.
Well, you figure when WWF, WWE was number 1, WCW was number 2. That probably was number 3.
Well, there's ECW for a while.
Oh, ECW, yes. And ECW was a lot of fun to watch. Like, my favorite guy in there is Sabu.
Yeah.
He's the most hardcore wrestler of all time. I don't want to hear Mick Foley,
Well, he's in that. Mick Foley is also
Mick Foley's, but it's funny. Like, I just heard a video clip of Hulk Hogan bashing him. Like, Mick Foley's, he's not in shape. He's never spent 1 hour in the gym. He goes, I work out more in one day than he has in 30 years.
Yeah, but Mick Foley will throw himself into barbed wire fence, and Hulk Hogan probably won't. People have different pain tolerances. Yeah. And look, I'm not bashing Hulk Hogan. To me, he's the guy that made wrestling what it is. But
until Ultimate Warrior came out.
No, I'm saying, but Hulk Hogan took it from where it was to where, he took it.
Like him or hate him, he was the guy.
Yeah, like him or hate him, he became the guy.
He's the guy, whether you like him or hate him.
Like Mike Tyson for boxing.
Like him or hate him. He's
Say what you want about boxing, but most people right now can't name the world champion. I could walk around the city and stop 20 people. No one's going to know who the different champions are.
I would still say this. Whoever the boxing champion is, I'd rather fight him and the runner-up opposed to fighting Mike Tyson one-on-one.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Especially in the prime.
Oh, yeah.
In the prime.
He just came in the ring and you just know people were scared of looking at him.
You're just like, will I leave with broken ribs or knocked out?
You're getting beat up.
You're losing. You just got to figure out which way you want to go.
When he come down the ring and just get in the ring and just stare you down like,
He had that look of death.
Yeah, it's bad.
No, Mike Tyson will forever be one of my heroes.
Yeah.
And that whole era of boxing too, like, it's funny, like from that era, I can name Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield and Michael Moore and Riddick Bowe and all. I can name all these people. Nowadays, I'm like, I watch some of the matches. I like Tyson Fury. I do like him. I like Deontay Wilder. I like Deontay Wilder a lot. But then after that, it gets really foggy. Like, who's out there? Who's even?
Yeah, I'm sure they're all great athletes.
Oh no, yeah, I'm sure they're great, but it's just, but they're not brand names.
I think boxing just kind of fell off, especially like UFC and stuff like that. That's where everyone is looking at these days.
Here's the problem. Boxing, there's so many different championships and what am I trying to say? Promotional companies and stuff like that. What they need to do is the UFC needs to start a boxing division within it, because like say if they tell you in the UFC, hey, you're ranked 18th, you're going to fight the 16th ranked guy. If you don't do it, then you go down and they bring the next guy up. Like if you're afraid to fight that guy in boxing, like Floyd Mayweather, for example, he could pick and choose who he wants to fight.
Yeah, it's all paid off.
Yeah, he could pick. Look at someone like Jake Paul. He's making a lot of money fighting people that aren't even traditional boxers.
Jake Paul or his brother's involved with WWE right now.
It's probably the brother, I think.
Brother, okay.
But I'm saying like Logan Paul. But
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is in the UFC, they would actually make boxing have credibility again, because Dana White doesn't allow people to pick and choose who they want to fight. If you're the champion in the UFC and he goes, hey, you're going to fight the number 2 ranked guy and you're afraid of him for some reason or whatever your excuse is, okay, then you're forfeiting the belt. It's that simple. They hold people accountable to what the standard is. And that's the problem with boxing is there is no accountability, you know?
I'll tell you one thing I do want to see. You ever see it called bare knuckle boxing?
Oh God, I've seen it. Yeah.
So no gloves or nothing. Here we go.
And that we have to pay tribute to one of our backyard brawler favorites,
Mr. Kimbo Slice.
Kimbo Slice. So we both know who it was while I've been saying it. I can't hardly believe Kimbo passed away.
I know. What a great fighter he was.
I interviewed his son one time. Maybe we can even get him on the show. You know, Kimbo Slice Jr. We definitely got to reach out to him as soon as we start taking guests, apparently.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to him. That'd be cool.
He's a really cool guy too. Yeah. Super humble.
Even Kimbo, he'd knock you down and he'd sit there helping you get up, make sure you're all right.
Yeah, Kimbo was that dude.
Yeah, he was that guy.
And he, you know what? You got to look at what he did. You figure Kimbo Slice went from beating the shit out of people in their backyards for a couple $100 or whatever money they had on it.
Yeah, make it all the way to the UFC.
Well, not only that, video games. He's on.
Oh yeah, he got toys.
Toys, covers of magazines.
He's in some movies too.
Yeah. I mean, here's a guy that literally was a backyard brawler and went to having basically built, like now everyone, knows his name. He has a legacy. He was a great guy, great fighter. The UFC thing, obviously, people are built differently. Like, when you're strong, like Kimbo should just maybe stick to boxing. A lot of people, he got beat in UFC. Yeah, he got his ankle twisted.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I understand it's within the structure of the rules. Let's put a pair of boxing gloves on Kimbo Slice, and I'd like to see him fight someone like Bob Sapp. I think Kimbo would have knocked the shit out of Bob Sapp.
Yeah,
he would have beat the shit out of him. No, remember when Mike Tyson was against Bob Sapp in the ring?
Yeah.
Mike Tyson would have knocked the shit out of Bob Sapp.
Oh, completely.
Like, it's not even a question. Now, Kimbo and Bob Sapp.
I always wish I saw Mike Tyson versus Kimbo.
A boxing match?
Yeah.
Whew.
I mean, Tyson got the stamina, though. I don't know.
Kimbo might not be built for that that 5th round or whatever.
But they did like at a lighter weight, like a celebrity type boxing.
See, I don't know what Kimbo's weight was or anything, and I'd have to look it all up.
And so hands down one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Oh,
so fun to watch.
Yeah, he was just such a good fighter, and a stand-up gentleman.
And gentleman on top.
I mean, it's not every day that someone knocks your ass out and then helps you up. You know what I mean? Yeah, Kimbo was definitely a legend. And I think he made a good, solid career out of himself, what he did.
Obviously, like you said, his son, Kimbo Slice Jr.'s.
Yeah, he's fighting now.
So.
Yeah, and, we're rooting for him. Oh, you know who else has sons that are boxing now is Tommy Morrison.
Okay, from Rocky V.
His sons are, like, they both look like him, but they're, like, bigger than him.
See, that's a guy that should have won on top, too.
Well, he was what they call, like, the Great White Hope or whatever. God, he ended up dying of AIDS and stuff. It's just so sad. Like, I was such a fan of him. You know what I mean? I wanted to see him. Didn't he beat George Foreman?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. He was one of my favorites, too, and then things just happened.
What a great fighter, though.
Yeah.
Good actor, too, Rocky V. People frown upon Rocky V, but to me, that was one of the more interesting ones of the series.
I don't get that at all. Rocky, to me, every Rocky is solid. And I'll include Creed. The Creed movies are just as good as the Rocky movies. Like, there's no fall off. You know what I mean? Like, like Rocky V. Like, what's wrong with it?
It was real good.
I thought it was real good.
Took him back to Philly, and
Yeah, I was a fan of Tommy Lee.
Yeah, Tommy Morrison.
Or
Tommy Gunn.
What is that? Did I say Tommy Lee before?
Yeah,
too?
Tommy Lee.
Did I say Tommy Lee?
It's in the movie. It's Tommy Gunn, though. Hey, Tommy.
What? I hate Tommy Lee.
Yeah, you're thinking of Motley Crue.
Nah, I don't know what the hell, man. Damn it. Well, correct me next time. Let me just say this shit.
Well, sometimes you hear it, it kind of just slips.
Yeah, Tommy Gunn was the man. You know, touch me and I'll sue.
He was supposed to be like Don King, and it was what was his name in that movie again? It was such a good character. Touch me and I'll sue.
I don't know his name, but he was good.
I know I've used that line a million times on a million people.
he was on point for sure. Yeah, the Rocky movies are got to be one of the most best. What do they call that? Anthology or what?
Well, the anthology is 3, so that's. I'd just say series, you know.
Yeah, the Rocky series is just.
That's like the Rambo series. I just recently saw The Last Blood.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it was that good. It was on Netflix. I just saw it like a week ago, and I was shocked how good it was.
It was pretty brutal too.
Yeah, I'd say he didn't miss a beat. You know.
Nah.
And I think what makes the last 2 Rambos even better, they know how to do the kill scenes even better now than they did back in the heyday. So that's why they make some more.
Oh, for sure.
You know,
with those Creed movies, think about that. Like some guy just comes along and says, "Hey, I'm gonna write a movie about Apollo Creed's lost son, or whatever you want to call it. And I'm gonna come up with this whole storyline." And then somehow they were able to get Sylvester Stallone to reprise his role as like Rocky. Now, without Sylvester Stallone's presence in the movie, does it lose a lot of credibility? Probably.
No, I understand there's a third one coming out. Stallone was not asked to be part of it. And I could have misread this, but I guess he's not part of it. There's a thing he said, well, he never plans on watching it. So
really?
Yeah.
So now he's against it?
I guess, yeah.
I actually saw a recent article that said that Stallone wants to leave the Rocky copyrights and everything to his family, and somehow he doesn't own it anymore. I'm like, how did he go from he owned it, wrote it, put up a fight to star in it, now he's lost his rights and he doesn't own the intellectual property anymore?
Oh, that's the thing that happens. Yeah, sometimes you sell it for money, someone offers you $2 million at the time, it could have been worth, nothing.
I heard that Dr. Dre just sold his music catalog for $200 million.
Wow.
But if you think about it, now I don't know, does that include just the Chronic and the Chronic 2001? Does it include the stuff he did for Eminem and Snoop Dogg? I mean, I wonder what it
that'd
what
just
it
be
includes.
Production value, though. What it'd have.
I don't know. That's what I mean. I'd love to see the list of the actual, like, what are the intellectual property within.
But even like the Chronic, that was what, 92, and Chronic 2001. 2001. I mean,
it actually came out in 99.
It actually came out in 99.
Yeah, and they named
it. Just shows. I mean, it's like it's 2 hours. Yeah, to get they're both classic albums or whatever. But I mean, it's still.
Will Detox ever come out?
No.
Here's what I think he should do. This is my crazy idea. Because they've said he's recorded like with every artist you can imagine for Detox. You know, the Jay-Z's, just Nas, everybody, Snoop, everyone you could think of. You know what I mean? 50, Kendrick, whoever. He should release it as like 100 songs album. And it would break the internet. Because I think that's what he's worried about. I think he's worried about his sales won't be the same as before. So it's like, when it came out before, it was #1 and they sold millions of records and stuff. But he's not going to get that kind of fulfillment these days. It'll be mostly streams. But
that's how they do anymore. Streams. It's,
Yeah, but release it as a project that will literally break the internet, meaning everyone. If Dr. Dre releases like 100-track album or something, everyone would just be listening to it, trying to absorb it all in. You want to hear everything. Like he would be the first to do something like that,
Yeah.
Wu-Tang Clan had a really great idea where they released one copy of an album, went off to the highest bidder. Now, I don't consider it like a quote unquote real Wu-Tang album because it was done basically. There were shady elements to it. Like the members were brought in by a producer named Silver Rings and he was paying them for their verses, not telling them what it's for. It was like a secret project. So you got like Method Man and Jizza and whoever showing up, inspected like, he's bringing them in, not explaining to them. They think they're just doing features. Here, they're actually working on this Once Upon a Time in Shaolin, or I think that's what it's called. And they didn't go into it knowing they were recording a Wu-Tang Clan album. Most of the members have never even heard the album. And then Martin Shkreli bought it, the one copy, for $2 million or whatever. And that's like more or less like a piece of art. I thought that was a very interesting way to put an album out, but now people want to copy that idea and you can't. Like that was Wu-Tang Clan's idea,
So Dr. Dre, huh? 100 songs on an album.
Well, that's just an idea. I'm saying he has to do something to break the internet, more or less, if that's what he's worried about.
See, I always wanted them to do the NWA reunion tour, but now I get it why it would never happen.
Yeah.
They're like billionaires. They can't be talking around, F the police and everything.
You mean
else.
like with an album, too?
Yeah, it's like, I get it now.
Well, Chin Check was a great song.
That was also 20 years
Yeah, I'm saying,
ago.
but it was a great song.
It was a good song then, but I mean,
yeah,
they couldn't do it now. They
Well,
could,
Snoop Dogg has that Mount Westmore now. It's him, Too Short. What is
Yeah.
it? Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, Too Short, and E40.
Yeah.
And they're doing great. You know, they're doing really well with that project.
I'm just saying, like, their whole NWA to get back together now. Just
Well, hold on. Let's break that. If you want to break that down, you figure first off, DJ Yella, not too busy. MC Ren, not too busy. They have plenty of time to be part of the new NWA album. So you're talking about Ice Cube and Dr. Dre, basically, and they would add Snoop Dogg as the other MC. What's the problem?
It's never gonna happen.
No, now it's at a point now where you almost don't want it to happen.
That's like, Little Easy was coming around, but he's basically just being a cover of his dad's work,
Yeah, I mean,
if he would have just came out with his own album, doing his own songs.
He has, but the thing is, it doesn't get a reaction the same way if he comes out on stage doing Boys in the Hood or For the Love of Money.
Right.
Now everyone knows what it is. Mm-hmm. If he comes out doing his own song, people are just staring at him. You know what I mean? I don't really know what how to react.
But for a while, he was hanging out with DJ Yellow like all the time.
He still does.
Doing shows together and stuff all the time.
He hangs out with Yellow. He hangs out with BG Knockout. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. But it's him and BG Knockout go around doing real mother effing G's, And BG Knockout's another one. I mean, talk about a great rapper that just didn't have the trajectory that he could have had, you know?
He should have been a top name.
He would have had that whole situation that happened with Eazy-E passing and then BG Knockout turning around and going right to jail for all those years. He probably would have been one of the top dogs on the West Coast, And then things just fell out real fast.
Things fell off, and
because now at this point, he has Real G's and he has a couple tracks on Straight Off the Streets of Compton that are really good. But what's he gonna do? Go around perform his one verse,
right?
Well,
he came with a couple albums. You have one of his albums, Eazy-E's Protege.
Yeah,
I think it was called.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a great rapper. I put him in my top 50 for real. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like I would have wished for him to have that career that I thought he could have had.
Yeah.
Well, what can you do? You know what I mean? Some people are too real for their own good.
Yeah.
He's just one of those dudes. Yeah, he's actually really good friends with that Orlando Anderson, the dude that actually got stomped out by Tupac and Suge Knight and them. That was like one of his close friends. So I mean, it's so weird how it all ties together.
Yeah. The whole thing about Tupac went and signed with Ruthless Records.
That would have been incredible.
He said he was with Eazy-E every day, like sign us.
It was probably signed Thug Life or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it was. Yeah, he wanted Eazy-E to sign them, and
there's a story that Tupac got really mad at Dr. Dre because when he turned in the album Thug Life, Dr. Dre and them were dealing with that label at the time. The way that Tupac and his outlaws at the time, they were Thug Life at the time, some of the slang they were using, like the shizzle and all the stuff, all of a sudden the Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre albums come out, they're still in the same stuff they were talking about. So that's why Thug Life's never really been it's always been kind of like a project that just came out and you didn't really see Tupac pushing it and stuff, because he basically just let it go. The hell with this album. They stole my style. I'll come up with another style and destroy them at that too. And that's part of that was the early tension with Tupac towards Dre and Snoop and them. Then when he gets signed with them and everything's going well, he starts hearing about wait, what do you mean, Daz, that you made the beat but Dr. Dre wants to put his name on? What do you mean that this guy made the beat but Dr. Dre wants to put his name on? So he started catching on to some of the tricks that they were up to. Dr. Dre and Suge Knight had a lot of stuff going on behind that was shady, you know what I mean?
Oh, obviously, I mean, Death Row Records was going to insane asylum. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there are all kinds of crazy things that were going on in the studio every single day. I mean,
and if
God knows what.
And Tupac came in right at the time where it was the Death Row and Ruthless Records beef, but he never said anything about Ruthless.
Well, he never said nothing because, I mean, I think he was still, respected Eazy-E, And
then when Bone recorded that song with Bone and Tupac with Thug Love, obviously, it was so weird to see Tupac appears courtesy of Death Row Records.
Yeah, it said that on the book.
To see that inside of a Ruthless Records, I mean, that was, just, it was
and how did that come
incredible.
About,
The song or them
meeting up with him where it was
Silky
recorded?
Fine.
Okay.
So apparently Silky Fine was really good friends with Busy Bone and with Tupac. So Busy Bone said, you gotta let Pac know I want to work with him. So she's like, I'll talk to Pac, tomorrow or whatever. And she calls up Busy and is like, he's ready. So when they went to the studio, that beat for Thug Love was actually going to be an Eazy-E beat. But since he passed away, there's an earlier version of the beat. It has the same bass line and drums, but it's slightly, it didn't have the gunshots and stuff. And then Busy was like, pull up that beat, and then they pulled it up. They said Tupac was there for like a half an hour, walked in, dapped everybody up, drank a little bit, went in, knocked out the verse, and rolled out. That's how he was. He was just a straight worker. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he did it. Came in and
Tupac recorded like he knew he was gonna die. Like they said that he would go to the studio, he would record like 5 or 6 songs. He'd say, no, we're not gonna listen to them. That's the engineer's job. Let him sit. Like, let us get out of here. Let the engineer mix them and master them and get all that stuff down. He's like, I'm here to just record and let the engineer do their job. Because, you know, like when people record, they want to sit and listen to the mix and they're, oh, turn this up. Can I get some echo on that? And people really just drive you crazy for the engineer. But Tupac wasn't like that. He said, nah,
nope, I'm good.
Yeah, like let the engineer. Yep, I did my job. Let them. And they said he would map it out too. Say he did 4 or 5 songs in a day. They said he recorded All Eyes on Me, that double album, in like 2 weeks. They said he showed up at the studio, was like, okay, this song's mine. This song's mine. This song I'll put the Outlaws on it. This song I'll put, you know, Richie Rich and Too Short on it. Like he already knew before the songs were even done. Like he just mapped it all out. Boom, 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 and just destroyed it. And the one thing about Tupac you can really say, since Tupac has died, there has not been another Tupac.
No.
Like, not even close. You know, you could say there's been other artists that have been commercially successful and have a great catalog or whatever, but they didn't have the influence of Tupac. Like, Tupac could have been like a president. He had that kind of like that political aura to him that people just listened to him. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't like, you know, other rappers. Not like I said, there's been some great rappers since him, but not to that level of respect. I don't
Weren't
think.
they all saying DMX was going to be the next Tupac? And his first album was solid.
Yeah, no, DMX
was a great album.
You know, it's funny. I was making a list one time of great DMX songs. And I couldn't believe. I was like, whoa. Like, I didn't think it was this many. You know, like DMX was a really solid, completely solid artist. Great artist. To the level of Tupac, though, I can't go quite. If DMX was even if he was a 9, Tupac was a 10. You know what I mean? I can't put really anyone on the same level as Tupac. And DMX had all the stuff too. You know, the streets looked to him and had the respect and all that stuff.
Rough Riders, all that.
Rough Riders, you know, but it just wasn't the same. I think it was DMX resembles Tupac. And I think that's a big part of it too. You know, he actually physically looks like Tupac. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and the same style. He comes out with the bald head and the bandana, and he's the new guy on the block. You know what I mean? Like, but no, DMX was definitely a great artist for sure. I mean, we could go on and on about great rappers. And to think that Tupac was basically getting ready to leave Death Row to start Machiavelli Records, and a lot of people say that's why he was killed, you know. I mean, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because you don't really know.
Well, Machiavelli stands for I Am Alive.
Well, the author.
The original guy,
He wrote, Machiavelli, he wrote 2 books about coming back to attack your enemies and stuff. I mean, that's what I mean. Tupac was such like a thinker and plotted things out. He didn't just react off impulse like a lot of other people do. You know what I mean? Tupac probably thought about, I'll get you back. If it's a kind of like, I know someone else that thinks like that. I'll get you back no matter how long it takes me, no matter what I got to do. I will find a way. Like, I don't care when, I will get you. You understand? And actually, I would say that, honestly, I know he didn't have the body of work of Tupac or nothing like that, but Nipsey Hussle, if you watch his interviews and watch the way he was a thinker and the way he would talk and the way he would just control the room, didn't have the accolades that Tupac had at the time he passed away. But I'm telling you right now, that guy was probably the next up. It's a complete devastation what happened to him and the way his life was cut short, but he would have, I'm telling you, he could have been next up for sure. He just had that kind of
that vibe or whatever.
The vibe, the control of the room, that when he talked, when someone talks and everyone shuts up, grown men shut up to listen to what they're saying because they're actually speaking either knowledge or wisdom or truth or factual or, you know, something with some potency. Like, it's fascinating to watch someone that actually has something to say and not just, you know, saying anything. You know what I mean? And Nipsey, he was on a whole nother level too. He was just a great thinker. Definitely sad what happened to him, you know. But off the rap subject, take it back to the last, I guess we'll cruise down to the last lap of this episode.
We'll wrap up a little bit more wrestling because it is what we started off as. We're dressed up as The Undertaker.
Best wrestler of all time.
The Undertaker.
Worst wrestler of all time.
Hulk Hogan. No, I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding. If you're going to say the worst, remember you watch, like, you know, WWF on Saturday afternoon and be like, you know, Brutus the Barber Beefcake versus, you know, Joe America or whatever, and they'd be like, hey.
Yeah.
Probably like something like that.
Yeah.
Like, gee, who's going to win this, you know?
Yeah.
That'd be like some name you'd never heard of.
Yeah.
Trying the worst.
Who's
Actually, I'll tell probably who the worst is New Jack from ECW because he really tried to hurt everyone.
Yeah, he's
he intentionally was hurting people.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Actually, I saw my show with him. He body checked into me. I was about to,
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's his shtick, I guess.
Yeah, he body checked into me. I was about to go do something. I was like, you know what? It's New Jack, and
that's how he is.
Yeah, that's just him.
Plus, he probably has a knife on him.
Has a knife.
Yeah, he don't play around.
Yeah,
you know?
he physically body checked into me.
Well, hey, is he still alive?
No, he died.
That's what I thought. Okay,
Yeah,
he
died.
thought he passed away.
I think about a year ago.
And then what? He ended up really messing some dude up right from Ohio, right?
Yeah,
was that dude from Ohio or no?
I think he was. With the
he like cut him too bad or something.
Yeah, he like took a knife or something, like cut his head open. Guy ended up dying. Like, I mean, not from that. But he died like a year after that.
That's terrible. Yeah, it's absolutely terrible.
Well, he was in some other independent show. He went over to a guy with a knife, and the cops were there waiting for him.
Wow, what an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a legacy you can't like respect when he's doing things like that to hurt people.
Yeah,
like,
that's not a good wrestler.
You don't hurt people from the crowd,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, what the hell's wrong with you? You know
right. He's like fun to watch. You're nowhere near him. You're watching him on TV. He's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Being in the same room as him, you don't know.
Oh, he's probably one of those people that always, if he's in the room, there's probably tension the whole time.
Oh yeah.
I have to keep watching that bastard to see what he's up to. You know?
I mean, everyone had their favorites, who they like and who they don't like. So, example, one of my favorites is the Ultimate Warrior, but a lot of people
a lot of people don't like him.
A lot of people don't like him. So, you don't know how to wrestle, like.
Yeah, what about
entertaining?
What about like the Bushwhackers? You know.
Yeah, I guess they don't really get mentioned, but they were a fun tag team.
They were fun, yeah.
Legion of Doom, greatest tag team.
Loved. Yeah.
Hawk and Animal. When you saw them coming out to the ring, you knew someone's getting their butts kicked, and
they had probably the most intimidating look. Who could out intimidate them when they were walking down, especially with shoulder pads on,
the spikes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's Demolition.
They were like,
I know, but they were like a copy. No. They were like male dominatrix.
No, they were like no. They were like the cheap version of Legion of Doom, but amongst other things,
it's so much better.
Way better. Not even a question.
I used to love in their promos. The Animal would be talking. He'd say Hawk, and Hawk would, well.
No, they were good.
That's how he did it. It was just like,
who's a tag team that could mess with them?
You know what would have been a good one?
Huh?
When you put Undertaker and Kane.
Yeah, but that's almost like stacking the deck. Because they're both so big. Like who's like because Hawk and Animal were like average sized guys.
Hawk and Animal were huge.
Were they? They weren't like. I thought they were like 6'2".
Oh yes, height wise, yeah.
No, I know. I'm saying, but they were.
They used to wrestle like the Heart Foundation. Them.
I was
Demolition.
Well, I did like the Heart Foundation. I guess.
Wasn't Greg the Hammer Valentine and oh my gosh, the Elvis guy.
Honky Tonk.
Honky Tonk Man. Jeez, I couldn't think of his name. It's just stuff like that.
No, none of those people are messing with them.
No. Earthquake and Typhoon.
They were good.
Yeah, they
were
had
good
a couple matches together.
But they're not. I mean, if you were in a bar fight, I'd rather have the Road Warriors with me or Legion.
Oh, I'm getting any fight. I'm not even the Road Warriors.
I'm trying to think who else was a great tag team. There's probably so many people I'm not thinking
the
about.
Rockers.
They're too little. I mean, too little to take.
Everyone's all about Shawn Michaels. I like Marty Jannetty.
Yeah, well, that's because you had the darker hair.
I had the darker hair.
Yeah. Nah, I'm not.
But he's actually a character. We should look him up for an interview.
What, Marty Jannetty?
Yeah. They said no wrestler has ever been more hired and fired more than Marty Jannetty. Been in more police fights, bar fights than Marty Jannetty.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
We could probably get him to for an interview.
I wonder where he lives.
Marty Jannetty, we're looking for you.
What, to fly down to him? Fly him up here, spend the weekend with him? Maybe book him at a show?
Should.
Yeah, that's some other details we'll be getting into soon, but we're way too early in the planning to start talking about it now. So but we have some big news hopefully coming soon. I guess, let me see here. We've been talking for about an hour.
Okay.
I guess we will wrap this one up. Anyone you want to win this weekend at the Royal Rumble?
Okay, so just for the fans' sake, if The Rock shows up, he's going to win. Now they're talking Stone Cold Steve Austin. I wouldn't mind seeing him coming in.
And that'll piss so many wrestlers off.
Well, that was like, I forget who, I think it was at Sasha Banks last year was all mad at Steve Austin and Kevin Owens headline WrestleMania night one. It's like, Steve Austin.
I see it in both ways because you figure these other wrestlers are traveling the whole year round. Every day, putting in all this work. But what they don't understand is Stone Cold and them are the reason they're able to do this.
Right.
Just like The Rock, I remember there was this whole kickback about The Rock showing up and getting to win the title again.
Yeah.
And a lot of wrestlers were really pissed.
Fired up about that.
But he's The Rock. I mean, he became the biggest movie star there is. No one handed him that. He went and earned all that. I remember when The Rock was a nobody.
Right.
I remember, was he in Nation of Domination?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember when he wasn't.
I remember he just known as Rocky Maivia.
Yeah, like I've seen him where no one gave a damn about him to becoming the biggest star.
We met him before.
Yeah, we met him in Pittsburgh before. So at a signing that he did.
But any current wrestler, I like to see Bray Wyatt because that's my guy.
All right, well, we're gonna wrap this episode up.
Yep.
Mass Culture Podcast. We are gone.
Paul Bear here.
Paul Bear, Undertaker.
Peace out.